Hi, my name is Jim Burris, and I help people overcome and beat anxiety when they've given up and they've tried everything else. In today's video, I want to talk to you about really the kind of the ultimate goal and an easy path to get there, to help you overcome anxiety and really understand kind of the premise or the essence of what it is. And I think once you have a decent understanding, it makes it clear. It takes away some of the fogginess and the darkness and the, why is this happening to me? So I'm going to outline a blueprint that you can use to overcome anxiety. And I also want to talk to you about the ultimate goal really is to get to the point of, and I'm going to read from some of my notes here, but really present moment awareness, right? So this is my main card that I always, I keep around. So really, once you eliminate anxiety from your life, you'll have a focused attention and more present moment awareness. And I know that's kind of some new agey, spiritual, woo-woo sounding kind of BS, but I don't mean it in that way. That's really just the fact that you can be present in the day is ultimately what eliminating anxiety from your life will help you get to. Right. So anxiety, I've heard the expression that depression is what living in the past, worried about the past or trauma, and anxiety is worried about the future. And then in the middle of that, there's really all we have, right, is present moment awareness. Right now, I'm live at 9:28 a.m. Central Time, March 6, 2025. So I'm present in this moment. Now, obviously, when you're watching this, you'll be present to the recording of this video. And when you're present, I don't want to say you don't have time, but your mind is here. It's not in the future. It's not in the past. And again, that's so simple and almost arrogant to just get on a video and say that's what it is, right? But once you understand why you're having those what if thoughts, and and then that's also manifesting into the constant vigilance of what if, what's going on, what about this, whether it's health anxiety or for me, the worst was derealization, because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you experience it, right, if you have derealization, depersonalization, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of a low-level symptom or manifestation of anxiety. But the challenge with it is once you feel that, your body, the feeling of that, your brain, it just keeps going, is it still there? Is it still there? Is it still there? What is this? What is this, right? So that just essentially takes the possibility of getting rid of it off the table, right? So I want to read, there's a book, one of my favorite books. It's called you don't have to buy this book. It's called The Master Key System. It's probably 110 years old, by a guy named Charles Haanel. It's just it's not about anxiety. It's more about your mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. But this is the second part, point 14. All the paragraphs are numbered for some reason. Maybe that's how they wrote, 100 years ago. But this paragraph, it says, "It is often true that the conditions of fear, worry, poverty, disease, inharmony, and evils of all kind dominate us by reason of false suggestions accepted by the unguarded subconscious mind." So he's going deeper than just a condition of anxiety there, or fear, fear response, fear disorder. But it's essentially what anxiety is, right? It's just your unguarded subconscious mind has accepted certain things to be true. So your brain keeps looking for evidence, essentially, that it's true. So again, whether it's derealization, it's there. So that's, the false suggestion of, I would say that's an inharmony. That's not a disease. It's an inharmony, right? Unharmony, out of harmony, whatever, disharmony. So your brain is constantly, and this is a very elementary explanation. So I want this to be, I'm not a doctor anyways, but I want this to be easy to understand. So your brain is essentially looking for reasons to reinforce that you're in disharmony, right? You're out of harmony. So, if you lost your keys and you're like, I'm looking for my key, and your brain would help you. That's what it's essentially, a computer, right? That's not me. That's not woo. That's like legitimate science, right? But it does the same when you have an anxiety disorder. It basically, you have the condition to look for things, right? Of things that are in harmony or disease or worry, poverty is a little bit outside the scope of what we talk about here, but it's a condition in the mind, right? So then it goes on to say, all this, the trained conscious mind, so the trained conscious mind can entirely prevent by its vigilant protective action. It may properly be called the watchman at the gate of the great subconscious domain. So I read all that to say, essentially, the blueprint that you need to apply, or the framework, is reinforcing. You need to train that soldier, your conscious. Let's just use this. I'm a Marine, so we're going to say Marine. So you need to train your Marine, to be a watchman of your subconscious mind. What does that mean? So you need to be able to essentially reject the ideas. Now you can, and this is this is simple to say. The process is simple to do, but it's not as simple as just like flipping a light switch on, kind of, right? So the process to eliminate anxiety is just to basically create a better watchman at the gate, a better mind. I like mind Marine. That's a pretty cool term. Maybe I'll start using that more often. So when you have, and again, elementary description, when you have those what if thoughts, to interfere with them, right? To stop them. And ultimately you'll get to the place where you have present moment awareness, and you have this focused attention. And what that really does is, in your mind, right, you have this inner dialogue. So that's going all the time, that inner voice. And if you just said to yourself, what inner voice is he talking about? That's the one, that thing in your head that, the conversations. That's not, again, this isn't woo-woo crazy science. We have thoughts, right? So most of our thoughts are not us. They're not supportive to who you really are and, the kind of life you want to live. So the goal of the Peaceful Mind Blueprint is to train that mind Marine, that watchman at the gate, to only focus on present moment awareness, and to not allow those intruding thoughts from the potentially worry about the future, or I don't really talk about depression because that's a whole nother crazy. It's a bad word. That's a whole different topic, right? To go down, but essentially the same concept where, once you train your mind through the process, through the blueprint, you'll have a reinforced watchman at the gate. You'll go from like a small, 2-man militia to like an entire battalion of Marines guarding your thoughts. That's the analogy. I hope that helps understand it. And the very basic level of how you do that, there's kind of just the basic framework is you have to get your body back into like balance. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. When I suffered with constant anxiety, like panic attacks, derealization, OCD, one of the things that I found that helped me was beer, alcohol. I never drank really hard alcohol, but I realized I could have a couple of beers, and that machine, that's, that meaning making machine, that's what if, I could quiet that or shut it down or probably slow it down. Is probably what really happened with alcohol. But that's not healthy, right? Definitely not healthy. I'm not saying to never drink beer or alcohol, but you need to be mindful. The same way with prescription drugs. Again, I'm not telling you to not take prescriptions. I'm not a doctor. I won't tell you to take that, especially if they're working. It's a conversation for your doctor. But you need to get your body into like this balance. So if it's something that if you're using, even like marijuana or definitely hard drugs, you should probably quit altogether. But alcohol, you need to like kind of, as you begin the process, you need to, even food or going hardcore at the gym for a couple days, a couple weeks, like just getting your heart rate up. You need to bring your body to this balance. So that's essentially step step one is to bring, you know, get everything in balance. And then you essentially need to refocus. So instead of having your brain, you know, that machine in there cranking, what if, what if, what if, what if, you need to have a way to essentially divert those thoughts. Think of an airplane. If it's coming into a landing and there's an issue, weather or whatever, they divert it to another airplane, another airport. And that's kind of what you need to do with your thoughts. And you do that by essentially finding something that you have an interest in. And again, this is very basic, and I'll give you a way to help walk you through this more. But so you restore balance to your life, get out the outward inputs, physical, you know, chemical inputs, food inputs that are, you know, that are causing your body to have these ups and downs, sugar, things like that. And then you have this, I call it this one thing that it doesn't have to be your forever thing. It could just be maybe you want to learn a language, or there's a certain topic, gardening, and you don't have to physically, you will probably physically do it. Like if you pick gardening, but you pick something like that to replace your attention from the what if thoughts. And again, this is, again, elementary description. I know there's people that are getting mad at this, but it works. It's proven to work. And then from there, you just essentially build upon that. And the term is neuroplasticity, right? I think it's like the medical term or whatever the psychologists use. So, but there's a specific process and duration that you need to do that. And you do have to have a little, here's the nasty word that people don't like when I use, discipline and will. But the thing is, like, you can do it. Anyone can do it. An 8-year-old kid can do it. A 6-year-old kid can do it. An 80-year-old man, a 46-year-old man could do it. Woman, anybody. You do have to have the desire. You have to want to be, have a peaceful mind, and then you just apply this process. And it's just like going to the gym, right? If you go to the gym once, you know how to lift the weight, and they teach you the technique, and you do it once. It's fun, but you're gonna be sore the next day, but there's no results. But repetition over time, and I'm not talking like years, I'm talking like days, weeks, months, depending on, where you are. You could be completely out of the anxiety brain, right? And I know that, I'm not saying that as a medical doctor or a psychologist, I'm saying that from someone that experienced it, that suffered with anxiety for years and years and years. So I hope this video helps you. Helps to give you a better understanding of what the anxiety word is. Pro tip: stop even calling it anxiety. Call it something else. Make up a funny name. If you're having a panic attack, make up a funny name saying there's a circus going on in my head. I don't know, just something that makes you laugh or giggle to kind of change it a little bit. And that, that's NLP. That won't eliminate your anxiety. NLP, meditation, they're all good things that work. They're not going to, alone by themselves, just techniques without following a specific process over time, you'll get relief, but it won't eliminate it. And we want to eliminate anxiety. So if you'd like to have some one-on-one help, in the description down below, right now there's a link to my Facebook page. You can send me a message and we can set up a time to chat. I'm just getting started. The business is called Peaceful Mind Blueprint. And it's just basically what I used years ago, what I learned. I didn't make this up. I learned this. And I want to get it out there to the world. I know that anxiety is freaking terrible. I know how, at the lowest lows was scary. When I first started experiencing it at 14 years old, and then I just got used to it. But again, used alcohol and different things to cope with it, but wasn't healthy, right? It didn't help long term. So I genuinely want to help you get out of that, and get back to a life. And here's like the dirty little secret for most people, maybe all, in the process of overcoming or eliminating, whatever the word is, again, not medical advice, but getting away from anxiety, making it no longer a part of your life, you're going to discover something about yourself. I don't want to say your purpose, but it could be your one thing. It could be maybe stocks. You could use, if you've always wanted to learn how to invest in stocks or crypto, you can leverage that to overcome a fear disorder. If you want to learn about gardening, if you want to learn to play, I don't know, the drums or the bassoon or some instrument, right? You can use that as a tool and have a completely different life in a relatively short period of time. So if you're interested and you want some help, go on my bio, and right now there's a link. You can go on my Facebook page and just send me a message, and then we can schedule a call. Depending on when you watch this, there may be a link to book a meeting on my calendar. Initially, I'm just offering this for free as a service. And again, dirty little secret. I know that if I help you, you'll give me a testimonial that this helped, that I was able to help you and that worked for you. And then as I develop this more into a course and I do, sell it, to provide a service, I'm not providing a service, and there's a fee to that in the future. Those testimonials will just help me help more people. So I generally want to help you. Click the link below, and if you like this video, click the like button, like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. That helps this essentially get put in front of more people that it could potentially help. So have an amazing day, and I know you'll have an amazing day. I know you will. And on the other side of anxiety, there's hope. You can have a fulfilling, rewarding, fun, peaceful life. If you can't go to the grocery store now because you have agoraphobic, I laugh because I've kind of been in a little bit in those shoes. And I know to me, it's entertaining now because I know how frustrating it is. And there's just this one thing that you don't know that could change your life completely. So click the button below, send me a message, and we'll set up some time to chat. And have a great week.